You know my policy here at London Real. Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. That's what I tell my team every single day, and that's what I'm bringing to you. Anybody can bring problems. Everybody knows the mayor has failed us. Everyone can see that he's not doing a good job, that he has failed to deliver on his promises, that he has failed to build affordable housing. So what's the solution? Well, first of all, we must stop talking about building houses and start building houses. Now, I know that seems obvious, but if you look at the last 5 years under your current mayor, if you look at the previous 8 years on the conservative mayor, if you look at the previous 8 years before that with your Labor Party mayor, they did not build enough affordable homes. They talked about it, but if they had, we wouldn't have this problem. So first of all, we've got to start building homes, period. That is my number one metric as your next mayor of London. Now, how can we do it? Well, there's some incredible new technology that has really been, in my opinion, honed and perfected in the past 5 years. So maybe this wasn't an option 20 years ago, but it is an option and has been for the past 5 years. And it's called modular housing. And let me explain exactly what modular housing is. And let me put a picture of it, of one example of what modular housing looks like on the screen. And you can see an example of what modular housing looks like. And let me explain exactly what it is. A modular home is one that's built indoors in a factory-like setting. So again, it's built somewhere off-site. The finished products are covered and then transported to their new locations where a builder assembles them. A modular home, to be clear, is not a mobile home. It is simply a home that's built off-site. And I want to show you a couple other pictures of modular housing. And again, you might see some of these pictures and say, wow, I see that housing in places before. I've seen that in our city before, or in maybe the local city, but you never realized it was a modular home. But you can see what they look like. They look fantastic. You see them in a lot of places in this city, but they've never been adopted for homes to be built or encouraged to be built by our government at scale. Let me tell you some of the incredible benefits of a modular home. And again, to be clear, these things can be designed and built and delivered. And so that's the beautiful thing. They are customizable. You can literally order a single parent home with 2 children. You can order a 2-parent home. You can order a home for 4 people, for 6 people, for 8 people, for 1 person. It can all be completely customizable. They're also flexible. So you can build a modular home for 1 person and later convert that to a 2-person home, to a 4-person home without having to rebuild. Imagine that. It's one of the biggest problems we face right now with affordable housing is once you build it, you can't change it later. And we know that the needs of our housing are constantly changing. We know we constantly need to be flexible. I need a 4-person home. I need a 6-person home. I need an 8-person home. I need a 1-person home. Modular homes solve this problem. Next, my most favorite part about modular homes is they're fast. These can be built in the matter of days and weeks. They can be custom built, manufactured, and literally transported and placed on site. And they can be up and running in a matter of weeks. It's incredible. And we can build new housing across all boroughs of London. All boroughs of London. We just need the space and we can put housing there and start solving the problems now. Right now in Ealing, they are using this solution to success. And you can read more about what they're doing in Ealing, and it's incredible. They're providing quick, real-world housing solutions right now using this. And the best part is this. We can custom design the communities of our future. We can literally custom design communities that have central community center hubs and things that function that I'm going to be detailing in my soon-to-be published Community First policy that is all about investing in our communities in London that are going to start working on many of our problems. It's going to help us solve crime. It's going to help us create more work and more jobs. It's going to help us make London safer as well. So again, we've seen modular housing being used in Ealing to a high level of success, and these things can be customized. They can be built to a very high spec as well. It's incredible. Some of the high spec that these are being built on, really incredible housing that you would want to live in, and they can be built quickly, and we can solve this housing problem fast. I'm talking that before Christmas in 2021, we can make a serious dent in our housing problem. That's a bold statement to make, and I'm going to make it on record right now. Before Christmas, as your next mayor of London in 2021, you will see us make a remarkable dent in the housing situation in London, something our current mayor has not been able to do in 5 years. We are going to do in a matter of months, and we are going to do it with modular housing. Let me say a few more things about what modular housing does. And one thing that I believe is important as your next mayor of London. Whatever our housing solution, I believe that financial motive must prevail. And let me be specific. That means that any developers, and we've got to have private independent developers because they do a better job. They know how to hold people accountable. They know how to be fiscally responsible. They must have a financial motive, and they must find a way to do this for a profit so they can still create incredible structures and deliver them to a high spec. This is really important, and one of the things that certain governments in the past have failed, especially our Labor governments. Again, modular housing can do this. They can build housing that's customized. We can also take that housing and we can relocate it if necessary. That's the beauty of this. We can refurbish it later. And so we don't have to scrap all the costs. You can put new interiors later. You can put new exteriors and still keep the critical infrastructure. It can be reused, which means there's long-term value and there's long-term life in building these, which means that private contractors are incentivized to invest in these structures. So again, modular housing is crucial. And I want to play for you a short video of just one example of modular housing. And again, this is something that was created by Dyson, one of the incredible companies here in Britain. And you can just see one example here of a modular house. And this is simple, but you see it kind of being fabricated. You see how it can be built in 1 level or 2 levels or 3 levels. It can be laid out in any way we want. It also can be moved from location to location. If we have space that opens up, if we want to make it permanent, it can be permanent as well. And again, it's high spec. It's something that honestly, any of us would be proud to live in. We would be proud to have our children grow up in these places and proud to call these places home. And that's what's most important. It's important that we respect the people that we build affordable homes for. And again, you can see this is one of the many examples of modular homes. And again, the technology is improving every single day. And as technology gets better, we can provide more and more incredible options for our housing.